Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing something new with all of you. I was invited to take part in the beta for a new game called Duet Night Abyss. This game is an action RPG developed by a studio in Beijing called Pan Studio. I started playing it over the weekend, and I just have to share it with you. I think this game could be some real competition for Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. It's set in a fantasy world with absolutely stunning imagery, but it's also got its darker side. After the Church of Elysian was formed, the people who were once born equal were split into different social classes. Those who didn't believe in the church's teachings fled to the north, beyond its reach. Several countries were established, and the most powerful of them was the Hyperborean Empire, and then they began to ruthlessly devour smaller nations. Once we're in the game, we meet humans, but also a race called Karons. Karons are born with innate magical potential and are an ancient humanoid species found all over the world, but they're treated like lower class civilization, especially in the Empire, where they're seen as a symbol of evil and bad omens. The easiest way to spot the Karons is by looking for their horns on their heads. Humans say they're close to demons, even though demons are rare, even among the Karons. Some Karons have developed powers that humans see as demonic sorcery, and they fear that these abilities will bring misfortune and destruction. So, naturally, they avoid them. But if you look closer, you'll notice that the Karons actually helped humans develop some of the tech they use now to protect themselves from the monsters known as Filthoids. The game starts off in a way that feels familiar if you've played any other action RPGs. You get to choose which character to start with, and right away, I find myself surrounded by swords. I had to pause and ask myself, am I playing Kingdom Hearts or Fate Stay Night? When you come to, you're with your friend Barry. You two are hiding in a cave, trying to make it back home to get your weapons, but things escalate fast. Filthoids have overrun the island, and you and Barry have to escape. On top of that, you end up clashing with the Empire's army. Eventually, a woman named Sybil shows up and interferes with your escape as well. During the fight with Sybil, things start going south fast. But then your character combines her power with Barry's using an ability called the Power of Resonance. Now, a quick heads up, I was testing this on my phone, so the frame rate during this scene, yeah, not so great. But anyway, this resonance gives Barry the ability to unleash her ultimate attack. Sadly, even with your combined strength, it's not enough to fend off the Empire soldiers. You and Barry get separated, and when you come to, you're in a completely different location. And I gotta say, when this little creature named Snow wakes you up, I was seriously getting Genshin Impact vibes with Paimon. You'll eventually find out you're really far away from your island, and you have no clue how you got there, and your memory's kind of fuzzy. Snow and another character named Camilla tell you that you're now in the Hyperborean Empire. Your next step, you need to find Sybil, who is referred to as Chief. But of course, tracking her down takes money, and guess what? You don't have any. So it's time to start your adventure. Take on story missions, side quests, errands, all that fun stuff. If you're curious to know more about the story, let me know in the comments below. Now that we've gotten some of the high-level story out of the way, let's talk about the gameplay. I'll be honest, I'm not much of a gacha gamer. I haven't really dived deep into these action RPGs before. I gave Genshin Impact a try for a bit, and I got bored. And I only recently gave Wuthering Waves an honest shot, so yeah, I'm no expert at these type of games. That said, if you do play a lot of gacha games or action RPGs, let me know in the comments and share your tips and experiences. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This game is currently in its beta phase, so there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but even in a beta form, I'm really enjoying it. I first tried it on my phone, and I'll show you some of the gameplay of that. This is honestly where I struggled with games like Genshin Impact. My fat thumb tries to move the camera and I end up hitting the dodge button, or who knows what else. Plus, with this being a beta, there were definitely some frame rate issues that made cutscenes less than cinematic. I almost dropped the beta because of how clunky it felt on the phone. But then I had a chat with my friend Cool Anime Dad, who's always hyping up how much better these games are on PC, so I made the switch, and wow, this game is so much better on PC. The hack and slash gameplay is a blast. What makes Duet Night Abyss unique though, is how you can equip range weapons, and we're not just talking basic guns, there's a wide variety to play with, including flamethrowers. I recently replayed Stellar Blade, so this kind of combat is right up my alley. Back to the combat. It's classic hack and slash at its core. You have two main abilities, one that's a special attack and another that functions as your ultimate attack. Then there's your ranged weapons. Technically, ammo is limited, but with how often enemies drop it, it might as well be unlimited. Boss fights also feature a stance bar mechanic. Once you wear down the enemy's stance, they lose their balance, giving you a window to unleash some serious devastating attacks. One thing I found a little strange is that once you unlock the ability to fight Filthoids, you don't play as the main character anymore. Instead, you use your characters you unlock through the Gatcha system. It's an interesting design choice, though sometimes a bit awkward. For example, I pulled the character Psyche from a banner, and since she's an SSR, I use her a lot. But when I hit the story missions, it feels a little weird watching Psyche have a conversation with Psyche. Still, that's a small gripe in the grand scheme of things. I actually think it might tie more into the plot, especially with the resonance power we saw at the beginning of the game. Exploration-wise, the beta currently has no fall damage, and I definitely take advantage of that. A minor gripe of mine is that there's no sprint feature. You can double dodge to move a little bit faster, but it has a cooldown. That said, the game does offer some parkour tricks. You can climb up pretty much anything without worrying about stamina, though that might change in the full release. They've also included a few mini puzzles to unlock certain doors. Nothing too crazy yet, mostly time-based button pressing. One note, this game loves its horde mode, and funny enough, you don't have to fight through them all. Some missions just want you to run to the target, which is kind of ironic, considering there's no sprint feature. Now, as a huge Persona fan, I was very happy to see this. The game includes a social status system called Impressions. When you're chatting with the NPCs, your dialogue choices affect how people perceive you. This can also help you gather intel later. The stats include benefit, morality, wisdom, empathy, and chaos. Naturally, most of my choices early on raise my chaos stat. I have no idea if that's good or bad yet, but hey, we'll find out. These stats come into play during side quests. Inspired probably by the popularity of Baldur's Gate and D&D, the devs added kind of a dialogue roll system. Your impression stats boost your chances, and you can re-roll if you've got extra dice from completing quests. I personally love that they added this. It adds a layer of uniqueness to each player's experience. We're not all going to have the same outcome. What do you think? Are you into these kinds of things? Or do you hate it when games add this social mechanism? Also, we get pets, people. And yes, I 100% have a gotta catch 'em all mentality. You can give them food to try to tame them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But once they're your friend, they'll join you in battle with their own unique abilities. I'm still learning what each pet can do. Oh, and for all of you fishing fans out there, yes, fishing is in this game. I was doing a side quest and caught a fish. I went back to talk to the quest giver, even though I knew I didn't have the right fish, and the mission just auto-completed. So, I guess if you're not a fan of fishing, don't worry, it looks like you might be able to bypass some of it. Now, let's get into the gacha aspect of the game. Just like in any others I've mentioned, you've got banners that feature different characters. And let me tell you, these characters are beautifully drawn. I genuinely love all of them. They even give you the option to test them out, which is a nice touch. Now, since this is a beta, there's no cash shop in the game yet. Instead, the beta gives you generous amount of currency to use on what's called Retrace. I currently have 2 SSR characters, and after enough banner pulls, the game guarantees you the character. That alone makes the system feel a lot more forgiving. Honestly, this is a big reason why I never got into Genshin Impact. No matter how many times I pulled from the banners, I never got the characters, just a bunch of junk weapons. It was such a frustrating experience, and from what I hear, that's kind of the norm for the Hoyoverse games. But correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I don't play much of their games. In Duet Night Abyss, each hourglass used for the summons costs 160 of the currency at the local shops. It does take a bit of time to build up that currency, but it hasn't felt like a grind. The missions to earn these gems are actually fun, so I haven't minded the pacing at all. They've also got some missions that seem like they'd be a blast to play with friends. I love a good horde mode, and several of the missions are just that. Waves of enemies coming at you. I can already see my friends and I having a great time just hacking and slashing through everything together. Another huge plus for me, there aren't a ton of menus to navigate just to collect your daily rewards or banner prizes. That's a massive turnoff for me in games like Goddess of Victory or solo leveling gacha games. Too many menus, way too much clicking, and it takes forever to collect everything. I don't want to spend 30 minutes clicking through 10 tabs for my login bonuses. That's probably why I've stuck with That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Just a couple of menus and a collect all button that makes life easy. Overall, I'm really enjoying this game. Since it's a beta, there are some funny hiccups, like the characters suddenly losing voice lines mid-dialogue, but that's to be expected. It's not the final version yet. I'm not sure if they plan on fully animating some of the side quests in the future, but right now, some of them are just text screens describing what's happening. Hopefully, we see more polish in those areas later. But I'm rooting for this game's success because I'm genuinely having a great time. I started playing it on Saturday morning and haven't stopped since, aside from eating and making this video. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? Are you familiar with these action RPG gacha games? Is this something you're willing to try out? Thanks again for all your support, and don't forget, if you're interested in hearing more about this game, drop a comment below. Remember to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really helps out the support of this channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!